Flame Guard and that's it. So you'll need a +1 to get that kill. But it's a Dendi Pudge on land in Kiev. You can't ask for more than that. And EG looking calm and collected. Don't seem phased by the Pudge pick. It's certainly a curveball. It's been a long time since Navi ran this at a big game. They may have run it in an online match here or there, but I cannot recall. I mean, I think we were talking about this, was it yesterday or when we were walking back to the hotel? I'm not sure. It might have been like a year or more since they've run this here on the big stage. Well, let's see how it works out. Let's get ready to rumble. EG, the favorites coming into this one. Let's see if they can push through with that early start. EG on the dire side, you've got some sort of video issue here. Do I need to replug my cable or?
I
don't have a voice.
Don't know.
I'm gonna try it.
That's a good.
He might have.
Yep. Yeah, you got it. Nice.
All right, now I lost my monitor. All right.
No picnic.
Magic. And we'll introduce the teams. Okay, EG, Fear will be playing your safe lane. Brew, no surprise there. PPD, the Jakiro, that puts Arteezy onto the Ember Spirit. Going to the off lane for now is Zai to deny a creep as the Enigma. And then Universe will be your off lane Elder Titan. For Navi, speed introductions. Funnick, the off lane Beastmaster. Going mid will not be the Pudge. They give him the safe lane farm, and to be honest, he's not the strongest laner, so I kind of like this from them. They run the Wisp Gyro. They have cleared off the trees, so they can go for the double stacking. That'll be Vangscore playing the Wisp, Havost on the Gyrocopter, one of his signature heroes. Dendi running that safe lane Pudge with a very nice set, by the way.
Yeah, this is his, what's this called? This is no, kind of all the items have unique names, but this is the one that came in
Self-made
connection
murder
with,
mask.
This was the one in connection
Free-to-play,
with
right?
Free-to-play. So this is Dendi's Pudge set, which I don't think I've seen him even use in an official match, because since Free-to-play came out, I don't think he's played it once. Like
Probably in pubs, but yeah, not
sure,
an official
but
match. And last but not least, FNG will be your line. Okay, Sin, so what do you think about the lanes?
Overall, I guess, well, the top lane is going to be really difficult for the Beastmaster, playing into this. Obviously,
we're not using my camera, apparently.
The Jakiro, the Jakiro Brewmaster can harass him pretty well while Zai farms. So for me, the most important thing is the mid lane. How well can Krost and the IO of Vanscore hold down Arteezy? Because the trade-off right now is that there is an Enigma free farming the jungle. And Navi are trading that off for pulling with a Lion, which is an awful trade, let's be honest. That's easily favoring EG. And Universe playing against this dual lane bottom should be able to get quite a bit as well. So, advantage EG, I would say. It's already... Wow, look at that graph. Like, that's going really quickly.
Now, one good thing for Navi is they can clear stacks pretty well. They've got Pudge with... Oh, they nearly finished off Arteezy already in the mid lane. But yeah, they've got the Pudge who, with the support of a Wisp heal item, can bring them down. Gyrocopter, once he gets call down, can. They have great stack clear, and they can catch up to a certain extent from that. But for the time being, they undoubtedly will continue to slip behind. That Enigma just offers too much at this stage. Do EG snowball with that? Yeah, you can see Valat drawing, pointing out that there's quite a bit of stacking going.
Yeah, very similar to what we saw EGM do a lot on the dire side, and Vanscore perfectly times it here, getting a double triple stack, which is actually not easy to do on the Radiant side here, so very nicely timed. And that's a lot of farm going, probably the way of cost later on.
Navi are putting the hurt on Arteezy, and the thing is, running this Enigma jungle, they're not able to stack for him too much. It's the Enigma taking that farm, so with a slow start, he may struggle a bit.
Interesting.
Rocket picked up. Level 2 Rocket.
He's maxing homing missile, which I like a lot personally for the mid lane matchup, especially if he was playing one-on-one. He would just harass out and buy a bottle, and I think the bottle might be coming out for the IO here. No, it's not. He doesn't have the gold yet. But just a nice harassment ability. Becomes a really good trade-off mana for damage when you level it up to level 4. It's 150 mana for at 500 max damage if it travels far, but even the minimum damage is pretty decent. So it's going to be interesting to see how he plays with that skill build. That's a very unusual one.
Well,
I hope you got control of your camera at some point.
No, I don't know, man. We can hear him, but he can't hear us.
Well, now we can legitimately blame the camera work on someone else, right? That's good. This time it's not your fault.
It's because he doesn't trust me to catch kills. That's why. This is an indictment of my camera work. Well, we'll make the best of it for now. So great farm on Fear's Brew safe lane. And let's see, what's he picked up? The bottle to for now, which probably means the Blink Dagger will be next. Doubt we'll see Arcane's end bottle for him. So it should be a fairly timely blink. Zai doing really well in the Dire jungle. Already level 5 at sub 4 minutes, off to a fantastic start. Ah, I think I have camera back now.
Nice. And
I don't. Nice eye.
I don't even think Zai got the perfect rotation here or the perfect creep spawns. I think he got
Like
kind
decent.
of unlucky once or twice. Because by Zai standards, I think when you're playing the Enigma jungle, you want to be level 6 at about 5 minutes, and I don't think he can pull that off here.
Oh, FNG, that's a fortunate invisor. And without that, I think Universe can consider clubbing him to death. Now we're going for a bit of a body block. They'll make a jaunt for Funnick towards the top lane. It's quiet for now, but both teams need their levels. Your Enigma, you want to get your level 6 ideally, get that mechanism out as quickly as possible. For the Brewmaster, the Blink Ultimate needs to come online. Even for Pudge, this is a fairly level-dependent hero up to like level 7 to 9 or so. Maxing the hook is the big thing. And then we may see some aggression as Arteezy continues to be harassed in this mid lane. The rocket comes in and it's just so annoying. You can't even farm in the lane. Look at the damage as well. You continue to run so they don't kill you, and then you take extra damage from the rocket.
It is very powerful like this. I like the build a lot here coming out from Force, but
it is a little concerning though if they don't get something done in like the next 5 minutes, because then you go to the mid game, right, and EG just death balls you with the mech, with the brew split. You don't have max flat cannon. Even rocket barrage likely to be more useful in those big team fights. For
now
the
they
first
have
damage.
a really good counter push hero though in the Pudge, which is not your traditional counter push pick because you usually get some sort of wave clear. But there's one thing that messes up pushing strategies is if one of the core heroes gets pulled out 1,000 range from where they want a death ball, because then you're not a death ball anymore. Then you've got like a little snowflake that falls off and that just gets eaten, and then your entire snowball just ends there. So it's going to be interesting to see if Na'Vi can pull that off. I think the game plan here is let Dendi get exactly level 7 and then move him, because you don't want Pudge standing AFK in that safe lane. The problem is, though, from a drafting perspective, they don't have anyone who can take over that farm and be really useful with it.
First blood likely to go into Funnick. They've used a brew split, and EG will claim it. They even TP'd in their Lion, but he was cyclone up into the air. Couldn't get much done while the Wisp and Gyro look to make a rotation. They know the brew split's down. Ideally, you'd like to be able to punish this a bit. And that Pudge, as you mentioned, you don't just want to leave him bottom. Dendi hits level 6. He's got his magic stick complete. Generally, we see him go for an urn as his first big item. And from there, you expect him to start roaming. Ideally, you'd want the Wisp to be level 6 and the Lion to have, well, FNG's only 2, so I guess it'll be a while, to be able to at least get involved in these games.
And another thing we haven't talked about with the Pudge is what counters are there to him, right? We said he's good against fragile heroes, which EG don't really have, but what else? What can stop Dismember? There's an Ice Path, which has about the same range as Hook, so there's some counterplay potential from PPD. The Enigma will probably get a Blink Dagger at some point, and even the Astral Spirit into Echo Stomp later on can also stop it. So.
And the chains as well.
And even the Slide to Change, so I think EG have solutions, but one of the solutions, Elder Titan, is extremely underleveled. Like, Universe got destroyed in this game. He's level 2. The Beastmaster of Funnick is level 4, and he also had a bad time, so kind of put things in perspective. But it's still pretty clear golden experience lead for EG, getting first blood and farming Enigma jungle. And for me, this game, you know, it's kind of the nature of Pudge. Whenever that hero is picked, it's all about Pudge. It's like when Meepo is picked, right? He's like a flavor hero where when it works out well, it works out really well. If it doesn't, you kind of fall to the ground. And so it's all eyes on Dendi for me, because he needs to play a really big role in the up-and-coming 10 minutes now.
Yeah, as a commentator, as a viewer, as a player, like, everything's magnified, because the times when you get to play those types of heroes in big games, very few and far between, and, well, they just have a boom or bust potential, generally speaking. Look at Universe in the offlane. We haven't talked too much about this. They gave up a first blood on the Beastmaster, but this Elder Titan's not even level 3. We're 6.5 minutes in. It's come at a cost for FNG, but I think a worthy one. If you're going to slow down Elder Titan, keeping levels off of that hero is the ideal way to do it. And with the Enigma constantly clearing the woods, by the way, they did ward to try and slow down any stack potential. It's tough to catch up. It's not like you can just walk in and leech experience off a big creep stack. We'll have an extended pause here. Na'Vi were complaining about lag. Not sure what the ETA is. Hopefully not too long.
Pusashi komplagiat.
Puskoto to Podayat.
Pudoidat. I don't know what this means.
Sounds good though.
Thanks. I tried. I have no idea how
Not
close
you,
that was.
dude.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. Put me on camera in my most fragile moment right here.
I could just see that tear forming in the corner of your eye.
Well, yeah, like you said, a little bit of an extended pause. Yeah, there we go. Put LD on solo cam. Do something funny for us, David. Yeah.
That's all I got. It's late.
Man, that was really funny.
Alright.
Well, hopefully, I'm not sure still what exactly
Our
is wrong with it.
producer is laughing at us
Think.
now. he just went, in my ear. I hate you, Roman. Just kidding. Alright, so, anyway.
Yeah, so, sounds like a resume. Thank you for saving us, teams, in this very amazing moment. Let's see something more interesting than LD's face. It's going to be the mid lane.
I guess I burned that with all my flames today, so well deserved. They did get their run on the Pudge now. Dendi's about to hit 7. Generally, we see him buy a lot of his own smokes early on. Not sure if we'll do that this game, but you know he wants to get aggressive.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think like you'd rather even have farm on your Wisp and your Lion up to a certain point over the Pudge. So I would kind of like it if he buys those smokes.
I think he's gonna get the Tranquils now, a TP scroll, and then smokes and start ganking, because he has all the tools now. He wants to start filling up the urn. The Tranquils allows him, they allow him to hook, rot, and dismember while still regenning, and has better movement speed with them too. So a very nice pickup for Pudge in general. And hopefully we can see Dendi making some good hooks in this game. It is really a hit or miss hero, quite literally. So
here comes that death ball. EG grouping up. Level 3 liquid fire for PPD. Split cooling down in 20. Blink online. Zai close to a mech. Chainmail picked up. Treads. Actually not that close. And a Soul Rain, but well, tanky and ready to fight is another way to put it. Universe is here. Only 3. But with how strong the rest of the squad surrounding him is, I don't know that they need a highly leveled Elder Titan to force this. Dendi is scouted out as well. He did not smoke yet. So they know he's waiting around for a hook. It just takes one hook sometimes, Sin, you know?
Yeah.
And he finds one now. Real PPD and butt. There's backup. Wisely, Dendi doesn't engage. Follett just went absolutely bonkers.
He just wanted to show them that he can hit.
Yeah. Right? Just so you know,
just
I'm
showing
waiting.
Off. If you try this on my next tower, I'm there earlier next time.
I'll have teammates at some point. Just not yet. They have cooldown for a boast, and he did use it to clear out this first big stack, and this may be where the recovery can begin for Na'Vi after falling behind early. The graph still goes against them in terms of gold. Experience tips their way, but we do have to remember that's a tower that EG have taken down. Still Na'Vi looking for their first one. Fear is just perched on the high ground here. Hook attempted. Doesn't connect. But as Dendi will be the first to tell you, it's not about the hooks you don't hit. It's about the ones you do. I'll just keep on firing.
But it's going to be tricky against Arteezy because of the really low cast point on Activate Fire Remnant. I don't think you can actually hook chain, like hook into Dismember against an Ember Spirit who has a Spirit down already. He can just spam.
They do have Roar and Hex, so potentially they can use that to start
If they combine with that, then they can definitely bring down Arteezy. But they need to be... The timing needs to be really crisp. That's also what I said in the start. This is not, for me, the stereotypical Pudge game. Of course, I'm really happy to see it, but Dendi still needs to get some value out of this pick right now.
I do want to mention, since we were talking about a potential homie missile max, it was not maxed by Avos. Just took 2 points early. There's a little plink mid lane. No follow-up, though. Dendi's just hiding in the tree line. And you know, with Pudge, Sin, I think another important tactic for him is just not being on the map.
Yep.
It's sort of like a Night Stalker at night. The less they see you, the more they're scared, the more they're forced to group. EG are smoked, but again, it's still like they're clumping, and they're not... It's not like they're off split pushing with the Ember and confidently jungling AFK with the Enigma. They do not want to get picked apart. So Dendi continues to stay off the map. Now he's back at his own tier 2s, just sitting behind the Wisp and the Gyro, playing defense as a Pudge for now.
And meanwhile in the bot lane, FNG is just leeching XP here. Also staying out of vision. Might be able to... if there's some sort of TP support bot lane, they could have perhaps sniped out Zai here, but he will be retreating instead. It's going to be not the earliest mech Zai has ever had, but it's still a 10-minute mech with treads and Soul Ring, so great timing. 75 CS in 10 minutes is pretty exceptional. And in my book, Zai probably also, out of any of the pro players, the fastest farmer on Enigma, so to be expected that he gets this amount of farm.
I think Na'Vi want to fight
and
bottom.
This mech is going to be big, but it's not out yet.
They're leaving FNG in the tree line. He has a TP. He could leave if they wanted to sack this tower. Maybe he will. The Spirit went to the left, fortunately for him, or EG would have gotten eyeballs on him and potentially killed him off. Fear got roared, but then he just TPs the hell away. There was a split ready. So Roar's down now.
Oh, FNG tried for the deny.
Now he TPs out, and he can get out in time. Did not get the deny though. And they're diving mid lane onto Arteezy. The rocket's gonna hit before he can remnant out. Nice kill by Na'Vi. And that's what you want to be doing with this gyrocopter wisp. They even TP'd in fear. He's gonna walk up the ramp. He's just out of range though. Can't get in close. They'll tether again. And they even drop a homing missile and look to re-engage. There's an observer ward though that spawns Dendi as he walks up this mid ramp. Plus it's daytime, but a pretty big kill there. 700 gold swing. Well, counting the tower, it's not really. But they keep this game fairly close, considering they're 2 towers down. Considering their lineup is more of a spread the map style draft for this stage of the game. They're hanging on decently.
Yeah, this is okay so far. I still feel like EG are the ones getting the more out of this, but Na'Vi are by no means losing out very heavily at this point, so they can still make the most of their situation. The really important thing for me for Na'Vi here is that Vanscore's level 7. The clearing out the stacks together with the gyrocopter as well as getting that kill 2-on-1 on Arteezy has given them so much experience that the relocate ganks are available. And not only that, they're available at level 4 spirits. And IO Pudge is a really good relocate combo, so we could perhaps see them trying to go for some plays with that.
And they have FNG level 6, so they've got levels on the line.
Oh, Dendi's gonna get ice packed here. Have the rune snatched as well.
Does he
He's
get a
not
route
gonna be happy
DPL
about this.
attempted.
Will almost
Close
make
one.
it out.
Yeah, they didn't have any more
Just gonna get out of that, but that last activate fire remnant from Arteezy got the job done.
Yeah, needed that little extra burst. And well, for a Pudge, death's not really the big deal, but he's also not making plays, which is the bigger concern of most. No call down, still engaging into EG. This might be overzealous. He gets Malefist. Black Hole is ready. They'll relocate out just like an inch back. Oh, they kind of needed a fountain trip there, I think.
Yeah.
They might have to walk back now.
I think they were worried that EG were going to commit there and start diving, and then they wanted to have the turnaround potential still there. If they relocate to the fountain there, they basically leave Lion alone, and then they would have killed FNG if that was the case. But yeah, you're right. A relocate to fountain would definitely have been better in this case. And EG, they got Dendi. They got some damage. Oh, well, they actually didn't get any damage on the mid tier 1. I thought they started hitting that, but the call down and just the overall intimidation from Fuas there defended it very nicely.
Yeah, Na'Vi, that's where the gyrocopter pick and the Beastmaster are so crucial for this team, because the other 3
Keep an eye
heroes
out mid.
have, like, literally no deep push. We're still waiting for that first real hook. The one top was just a teaser. And so far, the Pudge pick, I mean, it just hasn't done much. But that can change very quickly. And he is smoked indeed. Rocket's going to come through. He could walk down into the river and go for that hook, but Arteezy just jumped so far back. Dendi now, still waiting. When you run this Pudge, it's very important to keep your vision out so that he knows where the hook opportunities lie. He's in the middle of the river. There's going to be a hawk for the Beastmaster that gets insta-gipped by a universe. Nuke, now he's just down in the river. He goes for the hook though. He found Arteezy, manages to get off the roar, the follow-up axis, secure that kill. Got him. But do they get more after this? The Brew split onto Vanscore. Relocate out is ready. FNG retreating with the rest of his team. Dendi walks in. He wants to take the bullet here, so the rest of the squad emerges intact. And in fact, they get another hook. They reel in PPD. Mech is there. Zai just melts to the call down, and Na'Vi, they use this punch to take out 4. What a fantastic fight from them from start to finish. A hook to start, a roar and an axis from the high ground to follow, then the 2-hero Lion Impale, followed up by a Pudge hook, and the call down from Avos makes a Black Hole pointless. You can't ask for a better fight, Sins.
Yeah, that's one of the problems that EG's lineup actually has now that we haven't talked about so much. They have very poor single target damage, so Dendi can play with a lot of confidence. Even Hvos, when he's tethered up like this with the overcharge running, they just don't have a solution for that. They are going to get a kill on FNG in this moment, though. Might pursue a little bit more, but there's no slide of fist.
That's a lot of remnants from Arteezy. He's committed and he's only got 1 to retreat, but they make it 2 kills in exchange. So I think in the end, what's that, a 4 for 2 or was it 4 for 3? Counting the earlier fight, not too bad for EG. Damage control was there, but they're having trouble pushing against this gyrocopter of Havos. Zai is still waiting for a Black Hole. Is this the time when he uses it? Midnight Pulse, you still not Black Holing. There are a lot of ways to cancel it, and the second that you go for that, you may just get hooked, but Na'Vi hold this tier 1. They are determined not to give it up. And in fact, they get their first tower of the game, albeit it's a deny, but just opening up the map in any way, shape, or form for a Pudge is always important. I like this Beastmaster pick as well. Like, they're getting some good vision for Dendi.
It's one of the heroes that makes a lot of sense in a single core lineup, like the one Na'Vi has with Hvost, having to scale very well into this game. And the one thing they've definitely accomplished is getting Hvost ahead in this game. He's about 2k net worth ahead of the Enigma, who's the highest farmer in EG, so he's doing great for himself. And you buff that up with Overcharge as well as the Inner Beast aura. He is going to hit so incredibly fast that once the damage items come up, he's also way more tanky because of the 20% damage reduction from Van Score and the healing that's going to be coming later on. When you tailor a lineup like this and you get a Pudge early on to just buy time for Hvost and make it hard for EG to get around the map, I think he can carry it himself with the tether, or not himself, right, but being the only carry. Even should this game extend to 45 minutes, he might be able to pull it off. This is a BKB Yasha phase at 16.
Yeah, and they also have really good single target lockdown. Roar, Hex, Dismember isn't the best initiation on Ember, but it's good follow-up. I think even if this Ember gets incredibly farmed, like, Arteezy can easily be dealt with later on this game, and therefore EG have to fight as a team. But when they're busy doing that, Na'Vi are spreading the map, and that's where just the Wisp strategy overall starts to work out for them, Sind. They're hiding their line in the trees, they have a relocate ready to go, they may bring in the full squad. Arteezy is so close to getting Hexed, Impaled, and just finished. He walks to the side shop, the Impale's there, the trap is sprung, Hex, Finger, no Flame Guard, another pick off, and they look for more. Zai got caught, Calldown's waiting, Na'Vi pounce, and they bring down 2. Man, they are bringing their killer instinct to this opening game of the set.
Incredible patience there from FNG. He stood in here for a good 45 seconds, I think, and even when the Enigma came forward, at this spot he was just waiting. Enigma pulled out, then they got Arteezy to move into the corner just as they were hoping for, and this brings 2 kills as well as a tier 1 with it. That's a very big play right there.
This Ember has 4.8k net worth, and Hvost has 10.3. I can't stress enough not only how far Hvost is, but how poor Arteezy is. Sure, you have an Elder Titan to buff you up a little bit, but like, what does he have now? Phase Drums when Hvost has a Yasha, BKB, and 2k gold? It's gonna be hard for him.
He is probably not even going to be killable when he's BKB'd right now for the EG squad. If he's BKB'd, overcharged, and IO doesn't die, they can keep him going. So it's a really spoiled position to be in as a carry 18 minutes in, that you can go in close and just fight especially as a gyrocopter without being too worried about being burst down. So there's a lot of opportunities that Na'Vi can take very, very soon.
Hulk to fly, reel him in, no Hex. FNG, I guess, wasn't able to click him in time with that as he got pulled. And now they turn on to Dendi, Ice Pat just off the mark. Had the right angle though, and they, if nothing else, are putting the fear of God into Arteezy. He's going for a little bit of farm here there, but it's very difficult. Hvost has a BKB and they jump on to Arteezy. Calldown used. Did he drop a remnant? Oh, that Calldown just missing. Fear caught by it, and the flat cannon nearly finishes off Artur. Can he retreat out? Remnant bringing him low. They did manage to catch the Vayne Score Wisp, and he's down. Hvost just beaking a beeline, but he needs help. Hook, let's save him. Dendi reels in his old comrade, and he retreats out to safety. And that's another capability of the Pudge, that free, extremely long-range Force Staff that doesn't care which way you're facing.
And that was a really good trade for Na'Vi too. They lost a hero, but that was with Brewmaster split, Enigma Black Hole, and they got the tower.
And it was just the
And they got a position 4 hero for that.
This is a Midas from Universe. He's had a really rough start. And with the way Arteezy's farming, perhaps they need more out of somebody else. Dendi's looking for a hook, and there you go. It's a holy missile to set it up. We see this combo in action now. Universe should take down the Discern
because of Tranquil's here.
Oh,
getting really close, and there's the mech.
Oh man, that was
if only
damn
Dendi
close.
would have got one attack off there.
Yeah, if they broke into Tranquils, that's a kill. My goodness, though, with no black hole, with no split, can you even hold this push?
I don't know what you do if you're EG without your big cooldown ultimates right now. This lineup from Na'Vi is just way superior when there's no split. Just the split. Even if Black Hole is available, I don't think EG can fight without the Primal Split, so...
Another so we saw something cool there, right? Which is homing missile into hook. That's a really nice combo.
Yeah, homing missile gives the flying vision of the target until... Was it all the way until it hits, or for a few seconds after you cast it or something? I can't remember.
I'm not exactly sure.
I think there's flying vision for a short time, and then it obviously tracks the target down, so you can see where it's moving, but you can't see the exact position of the target.
That's a cool combo. Having the Wisp to move the Pudge around is very cool, and I also like the Beastmaster pick. Just for the we'd mentioned it briefly. The Hawk Vision is fantastic as well. Like, you pick a Pudge, that's one thing, but it's a hero that you really have to pick around. You can't just randomly pick a Pudge and expect it to work. And well, Na'Vi so far seem to be having a nice draft to surround it. They're off to a great start. They're up by now a steady climb from down 4K gold to up 3K. That's a 7K gold swing over, what is that, the past 8-9 minutes or so. They have map control. Everything looks good for now. But they have not exactly broken the base. Still tier 2 standing for EG. They're also have time to cool down. And it is dangerous for Na'Vi to 5-man. If they 5-man later on this game, they risk getting caught by a Blink Black Hole, by a Blink Split into that, maybe by a Stomp into Ice Path. EG are at their best when you come to them, and they could just find their openings to initiate.
And that's one of the really good things with getting the Midas here for Universe. You could say they're playing from behind, maybe it's a little greedy, but I think more important than anything is the experience rather than the gold. They need to get Echo Stomp and Earth Splitter available. He's currently only level 8, 22 minutes in on a position 3. That's pretty much unheard of for Universe standards. He's been crippled.
Dire offlane Elder Titan. The creeps come a little bit closer to the tower now than the previous patch, but you don't have a camp to pull, and they did a good job of zoning him out. Each are going to smoke, but it's from a very deep location, way behind their tier 2. And they rotate up the ramp. There's an invis here. It's denied by the Beastmaster board. They just walk past it calmly, but they're finding nothing. Maybe they can make this jump on mid, but there's a Pudge sitting back. They might just be able to hook Havost out, and it's possible that EG ends up wasting a lot here trying to kill him off. The Wisp is back at the well. EG see only one hero mid, and they just decide that is too risky. There's probably more lurking behind.
That was a very good call to back out from right there. They would have been crushed, I think, in that fight, so... Or not have been crushed, but they would have wasted their smoke to go in and show off where they were, and wouldn't have brought anything with it. Dendi would either hook out Havost or hook out whoever jumps in on him, and either way, Havost gets to BKB off, so...
Yeah, and then maybe waste a big ult or two.
He has an MKB2. What is his GPM in this game? 611. 23 minutes in with only 4 kills.
It goes back to the Wisp pick.
Pretty
This would not have happened without the Wisp. Vayne's score was constantly stacking the camps mid, and he farmed them effectively. And you pointed out early on, and rightly so, the Enigma was ahead, but that's where the Wisp is a great comeback support. Doesn't get off to the fast start Enigma does, but if you have a carry that can clear those stacks, you can march right back into the game.
This gyro is just
gigantic.
Absurdly far.
He's 6.5K gold up on the enemy Enigma, who's the most farmed hero for EG. I mean, forget about Arteezy. Havost was doubling up. Now doubling him up. Now he's more than doubling him up. 4, 0, and 2. It's a beast copter. I wish he was bloodlusted and BKB'd so he'd be like double the size of everyone else, because that is how large he looms in this game right now.
And there's just no solution from EG right now, right? When you look at their lineup, once again, it's centered around spread damage, and
you're up against
just
one big tank.
One extremely heavily farmed gyrocopter and a Pudge, and you can't go on either of them. This is a big item pickup for Zai, but once again, the problem is it's not about the control for EG, it's about whether they can bring down the targets, and the BKB on Enigma doesn't solve that. Arteezy needs to get items, and he's not getting anywhere. Universe will build utility on his Elder Titan. That's not any damage. He'll get a Force Staff. And Brewmaster will already start reaching the point soon when he falls off. We're 25 minutes into the game. Only seeing 12 kills is very uncharacteristic for Na'Vi. More characteristic for EG, I would say, but strategically, Na'Vi are just winning this game by the minute.
How you mentioned the Brew Split, like Gyro is one of the better heroes to kill that. Flak Cannon collateral damage alone, well, just the Fire Panda's dead within like what, 3 flaks maybe? Perhaps a bit more than that. And then you have a little bit of control, but damage is what they're going to need as it goes on. And even with an Elder Titan, you've got to get at least 1-2 items on Arteezy. Still that Battle Fury, how far off is it? He's just got the Claymore. It's such a long journey for him.
Starved. This is very, very late to get a Battle Fury. If you got it now, that would still be late.
This is one of the downsides to running that jungle Enigma, is Arteezy did not get much help mid lane. Whereas the Wisp supported the Gyro mid and was able later on to get a lot out of the woods when they cleared the stacks.
Yeah, they did use PPD's Jakiro mainly to control the top lane and keep away the Beastmaster, which worked to some extent.
But he caught up with Ancients.
Yeah, and it didn't work as well as the Radiant safe lane did either, so... perhaps in this game PBD might have wanted to put a little more emphasis on giving Arteezy a good start, because if they played Jakiro together with the Emperor Spirit, maybe he can get some more farm in that mid lane, but he's just lost on his own.
Dendi now picking up a bounty run. Honestly, I mean, as much as I'd love to gloat over the Pudge, he hasn't really done that much. He's won 1 in 4, but
it's not what he's doing,
yeah.
It's what he's preventing from happening that I think is actually the bigger part here. EG cannot play their lineup the way they want to because they don't know where Dendi is. And if you can have a hero who doesn't do anything, quote unquote, and he does a lot,
yeah.
then you're in a really good position.
And it's not just, if Dendi's missing, it means 3 heroes are missing immediately, because you got the Wisp and
yeah.
the Gyrocopter. They'll always be together. Now with Beastmaster having Boots of Travel, Navi can instantaneously bring 4 heroes to any engagement if all their cooldowns are ready. So EG almost have to 4-man at all times, or they almost are guaranteed to be outnumbered in a clash. Speaking of a clash, they are smoked. And they get eyes on Dendi. They jump in with a clap to start. He has a gem, so it's a pretty big death if they lose him, and it looks like they will. Gem hits the deck. Claimed by Fear. There was a dink on Design. It's still only a Pudge down, but losing a gem there, that's quite nice for EG.
1,500 gold swing, pretty much.
And all they committed was a BKB charge on Fear, end of the day. Really nothing else. That's a nice pick.
And if there's one thing EG are one of the best teams at in the world, it's freezing the game. Just buying time and not getting caught out, just slowly but steadily farming. The problem is, what they're used to doing in those kind of games is that they farm evenly or better than their opponent. But Quost is worth the same as the other 2 highest net worths. Like, he is Brewmaster and Enigma combined right now. Give this guy an Aegis and you...
They better not
pretty much almost won the game. Like, that's how extreme this is.
They better not lose him, though.
Yeah, that's true. He's worth a lot of money
yeah.
and experience.
This guy is a floating bag of gold to EG right now. But finding him and picking him off is a much different matter. They continue to be forced to roam around as a unit, and that frees up other heroes like FNG to get aggressive. He's managed to farm his level 2 ultimate. Meanwhile,
and a blink.
He's almost keeping up in levels with Zai, who's only level 13. Not that far ahead of the line. Yeah, and the blink as well. They've got double blink now. Funix actually had his. He's building towards the Ags at this point. So you've got 3 heroes with massive initiation range. Blink Hex, Blink Impale, Hook, actually Blink Hook, then he's got his own Blink, and the Blink Roar. That's a lot of gap close.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I cannot believe this. He has more than 10 CS per minute, 28 minutes in, which very few heroes generally accomplish. Gyrocopter can do it if you stack for him and he gets free farm, and he has got everything he wants in this game, but we mostly see heroes, like, which heroes do you think generally get 10 CS per minute, 28 minutes in? Anti-Mage comes to mind.
Naga, maybe.
Free farm. Naga, Terrorblade, Illusion-based farmers, and Anti-Mage, I think, are generally the only ones who pull it off, but man, this...
Maybe a Tiny as well, but normally
that's possible.
With
an IO.
The Wisp at its side, yeah.
With an IO. But again, yeah, it's also a Gyro with an IO, so it kind of amplifies his farm by, I don't know how big a percentage, but I don't think he would have been at 300 without an IO.
He's got Satanic.
Yeah. He is not going to be killed twice when he has a BKB. So the only way EG can approach this next fight that I believe Navi will inevitably push into the base very soon.
Uh-oh. I think our stream is
they're going to have to go for the IO, I think. Or, well, for someone else than Plus. There's no other way.
Yeah, we seem to have a frozen stream on our hands, and so I'm going to try to, hopefully, we can get this fixed. Let's see, are we coming back? No, we just got a black screen now. That is not an improvement. Alright, hopefully our producer is working on it. Well, in the meantime, it's a radio cast, guys. Pavos will take the Aegis. And Navi with a massive gold lead at this point. Well, not gold lead, but just momentum lead. Up by 5k gold, 7.5k experience, and they smoke straight out of the pit. Pavos, the seemingly unkillable copter, on the move.
I don't know what you do as EG. It's
oh hey, we've got the stream back.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's good news.
Okay, so it's
well, I know what you need to do, but it's so extremely difficult that I don't think they can. But they have to ignore Quost. They can't kill him. It's just out of the question. So you need to probably try to smoke around and initiate from the back. And
okay, that sounds nice, but he's breaking high ground right now.
Yeah.
So you better go soon.
They need to preferably focus down the IO and secondarily the Lion. The Pudge takes too long relative to how much he's worth. Same story for the Beastmaster. It's... well, I don't know. Midnight Pulse is going to buy some time. Arteezy's still getting some farm here. He will get his Battle Fury. 31 thin, with only combined with it. He is very, very poor. What?
They went for a hook, but Havos body blocked it.
Got him.
Mercy for EG. He's an EG bodyguard, but only for now.
Yeah.
Soon he'll turn on his masters. And they will continue their siege. He's up to 21k net worth. Hook was there again. Off the mark. As Na'Vi continue to slowly worm their way towards the space. They're not committing too much, but they don't need to either because nobody from EG is leaving that base. They're all just sitting inside of it, forced to defend. All they have to really clear these waves easily is that Arteezy Battle Fury, but that does not clear out the gyrocopter, who could just start flacking off your tower and zoning you way back. They do stop, killing off most of the wave, but every time that these creeps come in, Havos can get 2-3 flak shots off and begin to work down the tower. They managed to ice path him. Hook shot searching once more. It just takes one hook in.
That's what Na'Vi are waiting for. All of this is just to set up for Dendi to land a hook. When that happens, they will initiate. They'll get a kill, maybe even more. And then the team fight break out. They're probably the favorites in that by quite a stretch as well. But nope. Time to back out. There's too much farm on the bottom lane, too much split pushing here. Or, well, not really split. The wave itself is Al and Funnick. We'll go down to farm here. So EG is successfully defending for now, but what's coming with it, right? There's no progress for items this way.
Arteezy is, it's like 2.5 times now, and it's closing on 3 times in terms of net worth. And it's still, it's not just the net worth, it's like you said again, they don't have single target against one very fat carry. Like, if you were to Doom with an X now or something, then maybe it doesn't matter. If he's farmed enough that you can just jump on the gyro, potentially take him out of the game with a refresher so they can't relocate him, but there's nothing of the sort for EG. It's all AoE. Maybe they can farm up a Hex at some point. They need more time.
And I think if there's a few carry players in the world that are extremely good in this position, like better than others, and I would put Vost as one of them because he has a tendency to play over-aggressive, but that also means that when he has that insane lead, he is not afraid to
use it. And a hook! Got him again! Zai gets zapped and Zai gets got. Na'Vi with the pickup, but they look for more. They also roared Universe. Secondary kill incoming. He force staffs right into Havos' waiting arms, make it a mega kill streak. Relocate was expended, but well worth it for that kill, and they're going to be in position to push through. This tower top lane, not long for this world. Arteezy will slowly try to split push bottom, but Sind, Ember does not break buildings. He only clears waves, not until super late game. And Na'Vi break buildings quickly. You mentioned the attack speed buffs. They've got Inner Beast now maxed. That's a bonus 45 coming from the Beastmaster. Your Wisp with the overcharge max, it gives another 70 and reduces incoming damage by 20. Plus he's got Satanic BKB and probably soon enough a Butterfly.
Yeah.
Not to mention Tether to boot with that bonus. Move speed and just general mobility in fights. It's a supercopter that has an Aegis.
It's funny to think about it though, when you look at the gold lead, right? It's 7,500 for Na'Vi, which is...
It doesn't sound that big.
That's less than Hvost is ahead of the Enigma. So all the other heroes on EG are actually doing better. So it's like the world against Hvost, and Hvost is going to win that. That's like the scary part.
I feel like they have to fight when the Aegis is not up.
Yeah,
like you said, maybe you can kill him once, but twice,
They're going to have to wait for the Aegis to expire, lock him down
it's
completely.
About to. So Na'Vi don't end up breaking base with the Aegis.
Yeah. It's a pretty good accomplishment for EG here to not lose their lane of barracks, to be honest. At this point it was supposed to be expected that Na'Vi would have gone for the siege, but they respect EG a lot here, don't overcommit, and I think they could have played a little more aggressively because of how extremely fond Vost is and how he likes to play aggressively, and this is the kind of situation where I feel like it's the correct play, basically, to play a little more aggressive here. But at the same time, well, you could also say, I mean, why not just farm some more? How often do you see this? Okay, just the network. It's
a glorious feeling for Hvost, right? He's the king of the world. He's like Jack in Titanic, you know, he owns everything, and he wants to savor the feeling a bit longer.
This is a good pickup from Universe. I think this is the best item right now. He got a Dagon on the Elder Titan. So of course this will effectively deal pure damage when Natural Order is on the target. So if he manages to level this up a couple of times, this might be a way of bursting down Hvost before he starts using the Satanic in the fights. They need more damage, they need single target damage, and Universe will have to bring it because Arteezy's hero can't do it yet.
he won't be able to do it for a long time. Battle Fury and 1800 gold could have just a Daedalus, but Havost has a completed butterfly. The crowd applauds his farm. I want to see it in use at this point. This is like having one of those, like, you know, vaunted top secret weapons that can, you know, like you've got one plane that can kill 500 others, but it's never been used in combat.
It's like playing Civilization 2.
Let's take this thing down for a spin.
You're playing Civilization 2, everyone else is running around with spears, and you get the nuclear bomb cheap.
But you still haven't actually fought anyone because you've used diplomacy to avoid battles.
EG are like, okay, sure, we accept your ceasefire.
Okay, let's roll the Ferrari out of the garage here.
Yeah.
Take her out on the highway, and finally Havost will oblige. Let's see what this little copter, well, soon to, I guess at this point a massive copter can do. He does bring the tower down low, forces out a glyph, and now they rotate top instead. They'll clear out this wave as well. He is not saving for buyback right now, and he also doesn't have Aegis. He does have the Wisp backing him up. Bankscore sits very far back. And for EG, the one difficult part is that they don't have an instant jump aside from Fear, and that's not a stun. That's a clap into a split, into a boulder toss. So your Wisp is time to bail Havost out. It'd be nice to have a Blink Dagger on Zai. He actually has the gold for it, but saving for buyback or maybe... Oh no, he's just going to buy it now. He decides he needs it, and I think he's right about this. They'll go in onto a Havost. The hook was searching, didn't connect. They actually managed to get a 3-hero stomp. Then the black hole, but it didn't catch Havost. Oh no, that's trouble. Call down, split, BKB, throwing every single tool in the arsenal the way of EG. Most importantly, though, black hole's down. And they've used split. They've used everything. The Earth Panda just slowly wades into the fight, but accomplishes little. It actually falls here, which ends up saving him a bit, as the Wind Panda, I believe, was still alive. They managed to kill off the Beastmaster. They do hold their base for now. It cost them a pretty penny, to be sure. A black hole, a brew split. But Havost got fairly close to dying there. If he was actually caught in the black hole sin, it's possible he would have.
This is so well played by EG. Not losing a hero there is pretty remarkable, to be honest. The black hole from Zai wasn't good, and he even got cancelled by the Roar, and after that, they still didn't lose a single hero. They zoned out Na'Vi mainly with the Ice Path of PPD, and managed to reset. And I mean, sure, you've used your black hole, but I don't think Na'Vi want to push this until the Beastmaster is there, so it's more breathing room. Arteezy is now starting to get quite a bit of bank, and I think if you're Arteezy right now, you go into the Daedalus right away, like, and you get 2 of them, probably.
Okay, he doesn't have one yet, but considering how poor he's been, yeah, he fell down before. Oh no, reeled him in. You just keep on waiting with this Pudge. Finally, the opportunity strikes, and it's not just him. It's a double for Havost. The little copter that could is now the big bad gyro, and he surges forward with the tier 3 falling. Na'Vi, I mean, none of us gave them a huge shot after how questionable they looked in the tiebreakers. They barely even made it into the winner's bracket to begin with, but they're a team that just seem to find their momentum at StarLadder so often, and well, perhaps that old magic returns. They'll bring down the mid lane of Rax. They head towards top. There's still no black hole. For a solid 70 seconds, there's no glyph available. The brew split will be ready. The Ember has bought a Daedalus. They know they have to fight now, but it's such a tall order. Havost will be caught out. There's actually no mana for a relocate. That could be a slight issue for Bankscore if Havost gets first down. But he got off a single flak. That's almost all his HP down. The Force Staff used defensively to get him out. They may want to just send Bankscore to get some mana here. He gets changed again. They continue to slowly pursue. But Havost tries to lifesteal off creeps. They're slowly closing. He still has that BKB lurking. Impale attempted by FNG. They did not want to let their copter go down, and now they continue to retreat. Arteezy marching in. EG feeling a little bit desperate to make a play, but they just can't do it. So Na'Vi dodged the bullet of losing a fight after taking that Rax, which, considering how big their lead's begun to get, 14k gold, could have really hurt them. And most importantly now, they'll have relocate mana, and Bankscore will be able to purchase his next item. It's a 6-slotted gyrocopter, essentially. 6k gold on Havost. So at this point, his items kind of stop mattering, Sid. It's more about the rest of his team and about if EG can counterplay. He's done farming.
Yeah, we're reaching the point now, and I said about 45 minutes in, Klos will probably be able to do it alone as far as doing the physical damage and carrying this, and he's still in the zone right now. But should the game get delayed another 20 minutes, Arteezy will start getting strong. I think the Elder Titan will get his Dakin 5. They might even get a refresher on the Enigma or a Shiva's Guard or something like that. We could see Fear transitioning into like a fighting build on the Brewmaster with an Abyssal Blade, which I think would be a really good pickup at this point. Or a Kiras for the team, whatever they feel like is more valuable. But like, that's the thing. Voss will not get bigger now. So Na'Vi arguably at the peak of their strategy right now. So getting the Roche again and then ending the game, I think, is the play call.
You don't really have room for the Aegis on the Gyro, but maybe you just give it to someone else like the Pudge. The Beastmaster's a pretty big tool for the Inner Beastar and the Eggs, so he'll have a lot of roars that he could bring to bear. Or even the Wisp, just to ensure that that Gyro has support a bit longer. But EG set a course for the Roche Pit. They walk straight down the middle lane. Do they actually want to go in on this? The Spirit's lurking. It'll gain some vision, and Havos looks to turn, he throws out a missile. He just walks right up the hill. There's a black hole ready. Everything's online for EG, and he just doesn't care.
He knows that if they commit everything to him, he will get a relocate. And
or a hook out, or something.
A hook out. Like this, he can play with such confidence that I think this is when Voss has the most fun playing Dota. This is this exact situation. Maybe, you know, it doesn't happen that often and you're this far ahead. This is pretty extreme. Even if you were ahead by 5 to 10k less, that's just his type of game.
It really is.
I mean, it is probably your type of game for a lot of players when you have higher net worth than the rest of your team combined almost at this point.
He's close. What's that, 13? Oh, well, there might actually be a fight, so we'll do the math later if there's not. He's about to walk up a hill, but they do have vision. These wards from Na'Vi are quite good. So they generally scout these rotations from EG, and he goes back into the pit. He only gets off a few auto attacks. That Spirit, that's something he can't kill. He's not good against ghosts, and they will go in with the clap. Fear's had enough. He says, let's duel, and he will split. Havos still reserving the flat cannon, and EG yet to fully engage. They've thrown him up in the air, and then I think they're just like, well, what do we do now? We could black hole this, but Havos will BKB. They're trying to wait that BKB out. Not so fast, Arteezy. Come over here, says Dendi. With a roar, they get that kill from Funnigan. Now they chase for more. Call down. Zai has the black hole, but that first slow hit, and now he's being punished by Havos. Finished off. Who's going to get the last hit? It's actually a monster kill streak for Havos. He's 8-0-3. He's yet to die this game. They just blew a brew split, and they got absolutely nothing. They also lost their Enigma. They're going to lose Arteezy again. I believe that's the dieback for him. It is. And PBD Balls GG. Na'Vi on their home court run the Havos Gyrocopter, the Wisp, and more importantly, the Dendi Pudge, and they make it work. Confidence levels have to be at an all-time high. And the crowd speaks for themselves.
Unfortunately, the crowd, the home favorite EG, not winning game number 1. The crowd is kind of...
they're a little depressed.
They're a little sad right now, but I think EG can come back for game number 2, and the crowd will be really happy with it.
Yeah, they'll be on their feet here in Kiev. They'll be cheering fully.
If